Hello guys, my name is Divyam Singh and in this video I will be giving a video lecture on evolution of computers. Let's start. In the coming slides, I will be discussing the different generations of computers and the categories of computers. Now, what are the generations of computers? Well, the term generations means improvement in the development of a product, in our case, computers. With every new generation, the circuitry has gone more smaller and more advanced than the previous generation. New discoveries are constantly being developed that affect the way we live, work, and play. Over a period of time, different generations of computers evolved. The whole picture of computers goes back to decades. However, there are five apparent generations of computers. Each generation is defined by a paramount technological development that changes necessarily how we look at computers and how the computers operate, leading to more compressed, inexpensive, and more dynamic, efficient, and booming machines. This has led to computers being a much more integral part of our lives. The first generation computers. First generation computers used vacuum tubes for circuitry and magnetic drums for memory and were often enormous, taking up entire rooms. They were very expensive to operate, and in addition, they used a great deal of electricity, generated a lot of heat, and which were often cause of malfunctions. The first generation computers relied on machine language, the lowest level programming language understood by computers, to perform operations, and they could only solve one problem at a time. Input was based on punched cards and paper tape, and output was displayed on printouts. In this picture, you can see a vacuum tube. The second generation computers. Transistors replaced the vacuum tubes and ushered in the second generation of computers. One transistor replaced equivalent of 40 vacuum tubes, allowing the computers to become smaller, faster, cheaper, and more energy efficient and more reliable. They still generated a great deal of heat, and that was a major cause of damage to the computer. The second generation computers moved from the cryptic binary machine language to symbolic or assembly languages, which allowed programmers to specify instructions in words. Second generation computers still relied on punched cards for input and printouts for output. These were also the first computers that stored their instructions in their memory, which moved from a magnetic drum to magnetic core technology. In this picture, you can see a transistor, and also there is a second generation computer. Please note the size of the computer. The third generation computers. The development of the integrated circuit was a hallmark of the third generation of computers. Transistors were miniaturized and placed on silicon chips called the semiconductors, which drastically increased the speed and efficiency of computers. Much smaller and cheaper compared to the second generation of computers. It could carry out instructions in billionths of a second. Users interacted with the third generation computers through keyboards and monitors and interfaced with an operating system which allowed the device to run many different applications at one time with a central program that monitored the memory. Computers for the first time became accessible to a mass audience because they were smaller and cheaper than their predecessors. In this image, you can see the integrated circuits that were used in the third generation computers. Also, in the adjacent image, you can see that the size of the computers is much smaller than the first or second generation. The fourth generation of computers. The microprocessor brought the fourth generation of computers as thousands of integrated circuits were built onto a single silicon chip. As these small computers became more powerful, they could be linked together to form networks, which eventually led to the development of the internet. Fourth generation computers also saw the development of GUIs, the mouse and handheld devices. The innovation of microprocessors can be defined in one word: Intel. The chip maker accomplished the Intel 4004 chip in 1971, which located all components of a computer such as CPU, recollection, input-output controls onto a single chip. What overcrowded a room in 1940s now gets fit in the palm of the hand. The Intel chip contained thousands of unified circuits. The year 1981 saw the first ever computer IBM categorically designed for the home use, and 1984 saw Macintosh introduced by Apple. Microprocessors can be transformed beyond the realm of computers into an incrementing number of everyday products. The fifth generation computers. Computer devices with artificial potentiality are still in development, but some of these technologies are commencing to emerge and be used, such as voice recognition. AI is an authenticity made possible by adopting parallel processing and superconductors. Inclining to the future, computers will thoroughly be revolutionized and again by quantum computation and molecular and nanotechnology. The essence of fifth generation will be utilizing these technologies to ultimately engender machines which can proceed and acknowledge natural language and have efficiency to determine and organize themselves. The categories and types of computers. Computers can be categorized on different bases: on the basis of working principle such as analog computer, digital computer, hybrid computers; on the basis of size, supercomputer, mainframe computer, mini computer, or microcomputer such as desktop, laptop, palm top; on the basis of brand such as IBM, Apple, etc. Let us summarize. The first generation computers were huge, slow, expensive, and often undependable. Then the transistors replaced the vacuum tube. Integrated circuits were used as an electronic component in the computer. Then the microprocessors led towards the invention of personal computers and microcomputers. The fifth generation computers, where the goal is to develop devices that respond to natural language input and are capable in self-learning and self-organizing. And finally, we saw different categories of computers. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you liked the video and really enjoyed it. Drop all your questions and comments in the comment section. Goodbye.